Yo, what's up? This is Brandon, aka Fling, and we are doing a Battle Royale Week 12 first look draft. We're actually going to hop into a live draft, so let's do it. All right, we got one more person to wait for. This should go pretty quick. There was a lot of overlay this past week, so definitely hop into these drafts, get as many as you can, chase this overlay because it's positive expected value to chase overlay. So definitely hop into these. In fact, we're going to go over to DFS Army, hop into the game tiles, and kind of just get an overview of the slate. We'll do FanDuel because they do the half PPR like Underdog Fantasy. So this draft starting in a minute. Looks like I'm picking fifth. A couple game environments that really stand out that I want to look to target. Now, this one, we won't include this one. It's off the main slate. But Detroit with a high team total again going against an Indy team that is not good at all. So they are not good against the run. They're not good against the pass. This fits perfectly for a Detroit team that is great at both. So I'm going to definitely want to stock up with Detroit players again this week. Also, like this Arizona-Seattle game. This is basically a pick'em game. Vegas has it at a 47.5-point total. I like players from both sides of this game, specifically Geno and DK Metcalf and JSN. On the Arizona side, I'm looking at James Conner. He projects pretty well. So there's some good games that we're going to look to target. Good matchups for sure. And sneaky one here, not so sneaky, I guess, but just because San Francisco has been kind of poor, we have them going on the road to play Green Bay. Now, we got to monitor Brock Purdy's health. I would love this game if Brock Purdy was fully healthy, but it's a little concerning. He popped up with a shoulder injury, and it's kind of been limited in practice. So that's going to be one to keep an eye on. But it has good potential. So this draft started with Christian McCaffrey and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson. So I think I'm going with some good choices here. I think I'm going to go with Joe Mixon in this spot. Joe Mixon has just been incredibly good this year. He's been averaging like 24 to 30 opportunities per game. He's averaging like over 24 points per game. So it's just too good of a player to pass up. He's been the running back one. So it looks like it went Mixon, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Kenneth Walker. Do I want to stack Nico Collins and Mixon, or do I want to go David Montgomery here? You know what? Yeah, I think David Montgomery is the play. As much as I love Nico Collins, I think him and Mixon, it's not the game environment that they're both going to go off. I think it's more likely one or the other. And, I think I'm kind of capping my ceiling there by getting Mixon and Nico Collins. Now, what I like about David Montgomery is this is normally a spot where he pops off. It could be Jahmyr Gibbs week. It could be David Montgomery week. It's probably going to be one of them. I think it's going to be in the winning lineup. It has a great chance to be in the winning lineup at least. So I'm trying to attack Lions in all my drafts. I want one Lion player in all my drafts, whether that's David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, or I wait and do Laporta, if he plays this week. So that's something we're going to have to monitor injury news for, but I want to get Lions in all my drafts. So now we're going to have to look for some wide receivers that we like. I like Cortland Sutton. I like JSN. McLaurin, this is a good spot for McLaurin to bounce back. So I think there's a good chance JSN will be there. Hopefully he will be. If not, that's perfectly fine. And, I'll take Sutton or Marvin Harrison in that game. Yeah, JSN's gone. So, I can also take Trey McBride. Not a bad spot to take. Yeah, there seems to be some good wide receivers later. So I'm going to take Trey McBride. Trey McBride has been really involved. He's been the tight end one as far as yards and catches. He just hasn't gotten the touchdown, so I really think he's due for some positive touchdown regression. So I like him there. And maybe I could potentially double stack him with MHJ, and then I can get Kyler Murray later. We'll see how that kind of goes. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of see how the draft falls. But like getting him early. I like waiting on the quarterback. If I can get the quarterback in my last couple picks, that's kind of ideal for me. And honestly, it looks like one of the wide receivers will fall to me, depending on how these guys build, because all of these teams have 2 wide receivers. This one has 3. So we'll see what he does here. He needs another wide receiver, gang. Stave. So definitely cannot stack Jaden Daniels. So I should be looking to stack MHJ or Sutton. So I guess we'll kind of just see who goes next. Kareem Hunt. So I have my pick of Cortland Sutton or MHJ. Do I want to do the double stack? You know what? I think I'm going to bet on that game environment, and I'm going to do Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then we're going to come around and get Kyler Murray, assuming he's there. If not, I will take Nix and run him naked. Perfect. He took Cortland Sutton and Baker Mayfield. Kyler Murray fell to me. So I ended up with a Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, running back trio. I like running back in the flex. So on Underdog. So I always love to just do 2 wide receivers and then do the 2 running backs since it's half PPR format. I like McLaurin going against Dallas. I think it's a bounce back game for him. And then that game environment, Seattle versus Arizona, doing the Kyler Murray double stack. Obviously, hoping that side, the passing game is on the Arizona side is going to be what stands out. And, when we looked at this, of course, this was one of the games. It's essentially a pick-and game. Normally, I don't like underdog quarterbacks, but when you got a game that's a 1 point, and really the home team gets in about 2.5 points anyway. So this is basically a pick-em game. Projected as high scoring. I like that game. A couple other spots I would target on the slate while we're here. Miami going against New England. I really love Devin Achon in this spot. He's averaged like over 23 fantasy points per game with Tua in the lineup. So I do like Devin Achon. I think this is also not a bad spot for Tua stacks. That'll be contrarian Tua to Tyreek Hill. So you could certainly go there. I like Denver going against Las Vegas. This was kind of a Knicks coming out party a little bit. He had a really good game against Las Vegas, and that was when he really started to turn things around. And Denver's a pretty big favorite on the road, but it's more playing in Las Vegas is more like a home game for Denver. A lot of Denver fans will be there, and I just like the matchup for Denver going against Las Vegas. So I think you could do Knicks to Sutton. I think you could do Knicks to Vele. The running backs, you could probably get Javonte like in the last round of your drafts as a favored team with a pretty good implied team total, and people are going to be overlooking Javonte, so that's a decent spot. Last on the Green Bay side, I like Jacobs. I think Christian McCaffrey, he's kind of let people down. This could be a Christian McCaffrey week, specifically with Brock Purdy banged up. I could totally see them leaning on Christian McCaffrey. Juwan Jennings, people are sleeping on him again. He's been good against zone and versus man, so I like him in that spot. As far as the Green Bay side, it's really just Jacobs for me. I think you can play Love. It's a decent matchup, but as far as the receivers, it's not the best matchup. So I think, to at least pinpoint who's going to be the guy. So I think you can definitely play Love naked in that spot. On the Seattle side, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Oh, and I can't forget about Kansas City. But on the Seattle side, Geno to Metcalf and JSN. Arizona is definitely a team that you want to target a little bit more through the air than on the ground. And plus matchups for both Metcalf and JSN. And then last couple spots here, 27-point team totals. We got Jaden Daniels, who, I probably would have stacked with McLaurin if he had came back around to me. But I like Jaden Daniels. This is a good spot for him, assuming he's healthy. Him, McLaurin, and company, even Brian Robertson Jr. This is just a really good spot for these guys this week to go against a Dallas team that has just been terrible this year. Very much disappointing, banged up, all the things. So their defense is, Dallas has given up a ton of points, 29 points per game. So this is a great spot for Washington. You've been able to run on them. You've been able to throw on them. So this is a good spot for Washington here. And then same with Kansas City. Now, Carolina is definitely a team that is better targeted through. Well, actually, you could target them on the ground and through the air. They're the worst team on the ground. Now, will Pacheco play? So if Pacheco plays, I like Hunt less. If Pacheco doesn't play, I would love Hunt this week because it's a fantastic matchup. So it's really hard to figure out who you want to play there. Maybe you can play them both a little bit. You could, get them at the very end of drafts. That's possible. I also like playing the Kansas City passing game, specifically Hopkins. This is a good matchup for Hopkins. So Mahomes to Hopkins is a stack that I like. I want to target teams with high implied team totals. Kansas City, Washington, Detroit, mainly. And then, Green Bay, Seattle, these guys here, of course, as well. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Stay tuned. I have more Underdog Fantasy content dropping tomorrow. In fact, we're going to do targets and fades. And then we need to get a couple more weeks in, and I want to target the best ball playoffs for Underdog Fantasy. So if you like this kind of content, let me know. Hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and you don't hit that notification button so you don't miss an episode when we go live. So going to be doing that on Saturday for Making a Millie. That's going to do it this week. We will see y'all next time.